Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day. Let's get right into the stories. The first story is titled, My Spoiled Brat Brother Has Finally Been Allowed Some Privileges, and He Hates Them. Since the family intervention, my parents have kept my brother in check. And they're doing okay in terms of making up for years of treating me like crap. They've even promised to host my next birthday and have my favorite cake with my name on it. My brother did overhear this because my parents had him doing dishes in the kitchen, and he just stopped what he was doing and went right to his room. No fake crying, just a complete shutdown. He still glares at me from his window every time I leave when I come to visit. A little while ago, my parents have allowed my brother some privileges for good behavior. Though, to my brother, they're basically the opposite of anything he'd like. My parents decided that he could have a little fun for good behavior. So, my dad dug out his old N64 and Game Boy Color from the 90s. He still had most of his old games for both systems, and also had an old CRT TV to hook them up to. When they were offered to my brother, he just complained that they were old and boring. My dad just said he could suit himself then and go back to reading. Took one night before my brother was begging to have the old 90s game systems. He used to have many game systems, a gaming PC, and even a gaming chair with Bluetooth speakers on it. Now all he has is a folding chair or his bed to sit on when gaming. I came by for a visit around the time he first got the N64 because my parents wanted to have me over for dinner, and I got to see my brother in his room yelling at the old CRT TV while playing Mario 64. He really wasn't happy, especially since he couldn't even go online to check for guides, walkthroughs, or cheat codes. For the Game Boy Color, I saw he had some Pokemon games and at least one Donkey Kong. My dad has said that if my brother is extra good by the end of the summer, they'll upgrade him to a Game Boy Advance. My parents quickly realized, though, that the Game Boy Color would eat AA batteries, so my brother has to use a power cord for it now, and he does play it. Maybe because he used to have a phone in his hands playing app games so much, because my brother liked cycling but no longer owns a bike since our parents sold it. He was without an outlet to exercise. My dad found a used exercise bike on Facebook Marketplace and put it in my brother's room. He also got a used CD player mini boombox from somewhere the same day. So yeah, my brother just rides that exercise bike since he can't go outside unless it's to do chores, and he rides it aggressively. He tunes in to whatever music gets him going, and then he rides that exercise bike hard. From the look on his face, I'd call it hate riding. Almost like what you'd expect to see on the face of a vindictive prison inmate exercising in their cell and waiting for the day they can get out and get revenge. I had mentioned this to my parents, and they have the same worries that I do. So my dad started burning CDs with my brother's favorite music that used to be on his gaming computer that they also sold. Each burned CD has 10 songs, and he would get one for every week of good behavior. He's only gotten one so far since this started, not because of bad behavior, but because not enough time has gone by for him to get more. I'm not sure if I'd call my brother's behavior good, he's just not really being bad. I don't hear him complaining out loud anymore most of the time, but I see it in his face. Especially when he glares at me from his window when I get on my mini bike to go home. He definitely resents me. But it's not the same look he gives our parents when they aren't looking. He glares at them like they destroyed his life. But if I were to put it into words, he glares at me with envy, like I have everything he wants. The look just seems to say, just wait till I'm 18. I remember having those same thoughts when I wanted to move the hell out after high school. But I made sure I had life plans with the help of my aunt when I moved out. But my brother doesn't know anything about how to do that. So he's probably still thinking of it in the simplest way a kid usually would. Oh great, now I'm sounding like a know-it-all. I've tried to talk with my brother, but he doesn't have much to say. I've been stopping by every few days to spend some time with him. We don't speak much because he's gotten very quiet, but he does seem to enjoy having someone to play with since our parents won't. He eagerly hands me a controller every time I'm there. We've mostly been playing racing games like Mario Kart on Dad's old N64 in my brother's room, and he gets pretty aggressive while playing. He keeps swinging the controller around wildly with nearly every move he makes, and has even shoved me over a few times when he was losing. I've learned to brace my legs so he can't do that. He had a few light tantrums for losing, but is getting a little better. I've had some game FAQs, walkthroughs, and cheat codes of some of the games he's been playing on the old N64 printed out at the local library and put them in a binder for him. And that's made him be a little nicer to me. Our parents wanted to get some stuff for summer homeschooling for my brother, but I warned them that was probably not a good idea. He's already in an almost constant state of anger, and the goal is to mellow him out and make him more accepting life won't go his way like it used to anymore, not piss him off even more. My dad got angry with me about how he's the father and not me, and that sparked an argument where I reminded him of the things that went on over the past decade. All of the favoritism, all of how I was blamed for so much, even how I had to hide my money at my aunt's house because they kept letting my brother try to steal it. I didn't outright say he's a bad parent, but it was heavily implied. He backed off and my mom told him I was right and trying to force home summer schooling on my brother will not help. That made my dad shut down and he went to drink alone in the living room. My mom has apologized to me repeatedly over her past actions. She says she blames herself because it was her idea to coddle my brother so much and my dad just went along with it. She told me that back then she was never thinking ahead to what my brother would be like as an adult. She basically refused to admit he was going to grow up, so she just kept spoiling him to try and keep him as her baby. My parents have scheduled couples counseling, but it's going to be a while before they get in due to the wait period. My dad is pretty obviously not looking forward to it. It's harder to make him admit wrongdoing than my mom. He caved and admitted how much he'd screwed up during the family intervention, but since then, he's tried to act like he's just a normal parent. But I've made it clear that pretending that crap didn't happen won't make it go away, and my mom agrees with me. So that's where things are right now. Hopefully, my next update will be better. The next story is titled, Raging Karen Pretends to be Owner's Wife and Calls Cops on Me. Doesn't realize I'm the wife and own this place. Opening a restaurant is no easy feat, and when my husband and I finally opened our dream restaurant, it seemed like all of our hard work had paid off. We poured all our savings into the business, and we were excited to finally see it come to fruition. However, our excitement was short-lived as the pandemic hit, and we were forced to close our doors just a year after opening. We were unsure if we would ever be able to reopen, but we refused to give up. We worked tirelessly to stay afloat and did everything we could to keep our business going. It was a challenging time, and we had to lay off many of our staff members just to keep our heads above the water. After several months of lockdown, restrictions were lifted and we were finally able to reopen our doors. It was a joyous moment, but we were still apprehensive. We knew that we were far from out of the woods, and we had to work harder than ever to ensure that our business stayed afloat. One evening, a woman walked into our restaurant dressed in an expensive suit and wearing an air of arrogance around her. We had never seen her before, but she seemed to think that she owned the place. She refused to pay for her meal and claimed that she was the wife of the owner and as such did not have to pay. When I tried to reason with her, she flew into a rage and started causing a scene. She knocked everything off her table and threatened to call the police on us. We tried to defuse the situation by offering her free dessert, but it only made things worse. She called the police, claiming that we were harassing her and even tried to stab me with a fork. Little did she know that I was the real owner and her lies had no power over me. I managed to get the upper hand and she was arrested for assaulting the police. She was banned from ever entering our restaurant again. The incident with Karen taught me a valuable lesson. I realized that there are people out there who will do anything to take advantage of small businesses like ours. It's a harsh reality that many restaurant owners face every day, and I wanted to make sure that we never faced such a situation again. Months had passed since the incident with Karen, and our restaurant had managed to stay afloat thanks to our loyal customers. However, the pandemic continued to take its toll, and we knew that we had to come up with new ways to keep our business running. We decided to start offering takeout and delivery services, which proved to be a huge hit with our customers. We also revamped our menu, adding new dishes and expanding our offerings to include more vegetarian and vegan options. We even started offering catering services for small events and parties. As our business grew, we knew that we needed to expand our space. We managed to secure a new location just a few blocks away from our current restaurant, and we started working on renovating the space. It was a daunting task, but we were determined to make it work. Finally, after months of hard work, we were ready to unveil our new restaurant. We hosted a grand opening event, and our loyal customers came out in droves to show their support. It was an emotional moment for us, and we were overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and support. As the night wore on, we noticed a woman in the crowd who seemed to be eyeing us suspiciously. At first, we thought it was just our imagination, but then we realized that we recognized her. It was Karen. My heart sank, and I could feel the blood draining from my face. I had no idea what she was doing there, but I knew that it couldn't be good. We had banned her from our restaurant, and yet there she was, standing in the crowd. As the night wore on, Karen made her way to the front of the line, and my husband went over to talk to her. I could see the tension mounting, and I knew that something was about to happen. Suddenly, Karen lunged at my husband, trying to attack him. It was chaos, and our customers started panicking, trying to get out of harm's way. But we had learned from our previous experience, and we were better prepared this time. We had hired extra security for the event, and they quickly intervened, restraining Karen and calling the police. As it turned out, Karen had been banned from several other restaurants in the area for similar behavior. She was arrested and charged with assault and disorderly conduct, and we never saw her again. The incident with Karen was a stark reminder of the challenges that small business owners face every day. But it was also a testament to our resilience and determination. We refused to let one person ruin our dream, and we fought hard to make sure that our restaurant continued to thrive. Today, our restaurant is more successful than ever, and we continue to innovate and come up with new ways to keep our customers happy. We are grateful for the support of our loyal customers, and we're proud to be a part of this community. We know that there will be more challenges ahead, but we are ready to face them head on. The next story is titled, I Stopped My Neighbor's Loud Parties and They Ended Up Moving. Our neighbors had very, very loud parties frequently that would go until 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., even on weeknights. When I walked by his house to check my mail, he would mutter insults to himself about me and my kids. I tried to talk to him through his adult son because my Spanish isn't that great and his English was no better. I didn't feel good about calling the cops on him because he is a minority and his English is poor. Nothing worked. Other neighbors did call the cops on him and his family, and it didn't work anyway. Finally, I had completely had it and ordered this stuff called Liquid A-. A couple of squirts were supposed to be effective, but I didn't know how well it would really work from the other side of our shared wooden fence. The next party was on a Tuesday night, and it was around midnight. There was super loud music and tons of people dancing and drinking as usual. I went outside and poured the entire 4-ounce bottle on my side of the fence along the fence line, then quickly ran back inside. Within 20 minutes, the music was off, and the guests were chattering, trying to figure out what was wrong. The guests left to my delight, and everyone in my house finally got some sleep. The following day, there was a huge sewage repair company truck outside their house most of the day. A month later, a for sale sign appeared for one day, and it was sold to a very quiet lady who said, "I hope my wind chimes aren't too loud for you." I do not miss them at all. The last story is titled, My Aunt Refuses to Take $200 After Going Bankrupt. So, a bit of background, my aunt recently went bankrupt. Apparently she spent it all on jewelry for herself, but that's just what I've heard. The sad part is, it's probably true. She's been desperately asking for help for the past month, so last week, me and my mom decided to pitch in, and each gave her a loan of $100. She wants cash, though, but it wasn't too big of a problem. We go to her house, and the following conversation ensues. CB, choosing beggar aunt. M, mom. Shrek, me. CB. Oh, hi, did you bring the money? M. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. And yes, we did bring the money. CB, holds out hand. My mom and I ignored the fact that she was being rude and handed her the money. CB counts the money and looks at us with the most Karen looks ever. CB. I thought we agreed on $2,000. This is only $200. Shrek. No, we agreed on $200. There must have been a misunderstanding. CB. I need more money than that. What are you going to do with all the money you have stashed away in your bank account anyways? Shrek. First of all, I don't have that much money. Second of all, you should be thankful we're giving you any money at all. CB. That is so rude and disrespectful. Why would you talk to your aunt that way? Shrek and M, awkwardly looking at each other. CB. I'm not taking this money. I want at least over $1,000, and anyways, I could report you guys to the police. M. For what? CB. Stealing. You guys agreed to $2,000, and this is only $200. Shrek. How is that stealing? It's our money, we don't have to give it to you. Keep the $200, we're leaving. Me and my mom walked out the door with my aunt, screaming that she would report us to the police. We never ended up getting reported for anything, and I haven't talked to my aunt since. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.